Listen to Mr. Penuel and also Miss Phapano Phasha. Now, there is a very interesting topic that they were dealing with. I don't know where in the video, but where I am right now, this is where it's going to start. And I want you to listen very carefully because I think there was a video, I think it was a live. I was talking about this topic actually, and all of that about the leadership and stuff like that. I want you guys to listen very careful, okay? And, anyway, let's go, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
In Limpopo.
Hey, no, maybe not. But as an example, hypothetically, you?
Are you saying you cannot lead?
The next question here. In Limpopo now, they're second biggest economic driver. What's that region?
Which one?
You said there's a region in West Africa where their second biggest economic driver is...
Oh, the Sahel.
Limpopo, isn't it not the second biggest economic driver? Guys, lightning. Anyways,
You are crazy,
sorry.
bro.
I'm gonna bunch these three together. What is your projection after Cyril Ramaphosa exits? Who's gonna take over? There's rumors now of potentially Patrice Motsepe getting into politics, which I think is nonsense. Just as a concept, I don't believe it. So I'll have to see it to believe it. I'll explain if you ask. What do you think will happen to Mkhonto Wesizwe after Ubaba Zuma? And I guess this will then lead us into any potential projections for, because I mean, we're in a so-called GNU now, Grand Coalition. What do you think we might be seeing in 2029, especially with these other two factors?
Let's start with Patrice. Why do you think it's nonsense?
I don't know South African politics that well, so I have to first add that as a disclaimer. But from the little bit that I've seen, South Africa is very big on earning your keep, especially in an institution like the ANC. I don't remember people being parachuted into leadership in the ANC. Some people could be like, yeah, but Ramaphosa came back as a deputy. He'd earned his stripes a long time before that.
Yes.
For Patrice to not have served at any of the structures and to come purely from business. Yes, he might have been trained at CAF, of which I think his presidency was bought, but that's just my opinion. But for him to be parachuted into the ANC and to then contest to be president, even with all the money, I would say that maybe that would be the KO that Ramaphosa were brought for. Would he come destroy this thing? Because as we had a guest here, Jan, from Citizens, who was speaking about the different interest groups and starting off with the business elite. If their issue is in future, we're going to need to be able to control government, and the best way is through coalitions. That means we need to weaken the ANC. Maybe they can bring Patrice in and he'll become a compromise president under a coalition government with a stronger DA and other parties. But for Patrice to just come into the ANC, who corner guys that have been serving for that long, and for them to just accept, even if they're being bribed, I think every ANC stalwart would have to see that as the highest level of disrespect.
Okay.
I agree with him. I actually agree with him. And, well, I agree with him in the context of ANC, the way they operate. Guys, we all know from history how they operate, okay? I think it's going to be very difficult for Mr. Patrice Motsepe to actually, not if it's not from him, because remember, if people want someone to be a president in a party or even in a country, it is not him who is actually told them that I want to. It's people who come together and say, listen, let's approach this guy and maybe he can help us in terms of the president and stuff like that. And then people decide to put that person. It's not him. That we must always think about, guys, okay? Especially people who are in business. You know, it's not like it's them who say, I want to be a preneur. They are approached. That is why even Mr. Mbalula, when he was doing his speech, I think in Joburg, not in Joburg, I forgot the place. He did say that actually no one actually will be sort of like parachuted. I like the people who use that word, parachuted or taken into the ANC, you know, without going through the structures That's what he said. There is no way that is going to happen. And he did actually say, Mr. Mbalula, that it's not going to happen. As long as he is there, it's not going to happen. Because that's how the ANC operate, guys. And if that can happen, it's going to destroy the ANC. Trust you in me, guys. It's going to destroy the ANC because people will be thinking, we have been hustling here. We have been doing the work in the ground. We've been fighting. People were not around. And then now, because you are, I don't think it will be a good thing in the ANC. And when it comes to the how good Mr. Patrice Motsepe would be as a president, I don't know. Because he's only has been in business, football, and now CAF, and so I don't know. I'm not going to judge him based on that because this is politics, And obviously, guys, we all know that people they describe, not everyone, they sometimes describe, it's not me, describing the ANC as the white what, right? Now, chances are they might say, well, the elite, the elites, those who are controlling the economy, whatever, they don't want you, Mr. Mbalula. They don't want anybody else, but they want this guy. And unfortunately, the ANC might be pushed into a corner where they have to accept, unless the ANC they end up compromising, then it's something else. But to say that they will just say, no, it's fine, he can come. Trust me, it's not gonna be easy. It's politics that I think. Everyone is looking at those positions, guys. Anyway, let's go on.
Okay, I hear you, but
no, but you're free to not even listen to anything I've said and explain why you think he's a worthy candidate.
No, for me it's not even a question of him being worthy.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing that I know is that Patrice was a leader of the ANC. And there've been videos doing the rounds where he was going to campaigns and so forth.
A leader in what capacity, comrade?
Well, he was a leader, a member of the ANC.
Or a member?
A member.
Card carrying?
Yes, a member of the ANC. And you must also recognize that there were, several people who went into...
Then that changes a lot of things then. If he was a member of the ANC, that changes everything, eh? Is it true, guys? Was he a member? I don't know. Was he a member? I've never seen those videos. Was he a member of the ANC? Huh? Let's do this. No. We've got Google here. Was Patrice Motsepe ever been a member of the ANC? Question mark. I'm just checking. You can't just listen, Yes, Patrice Motsepe was indeed a member of the African National Congress in his younger years. Okay, he was involved in anti-colonial and African nationalist politics, joining the ANC in 1943 and co-founding its youth league in 1944, while he later became a prominent businessman and is now the OOO. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to lie to you. Just like Mr. Ramaphosa then. Just like Mr. Ramaphosa. Mr. Patrice Motsepe was a member of the ANC, and he was, he was a member and then he joined the ANC in the 19 what. And then he went out and became a businessman or went after the businesses and stuff like that. So it is the same as Mr. Ramaphosa. Chances are the guy might have a chance. Unless they don't allow him, but he might have a chance because he will say, but guys, you've got Mr. Ramaphosa, he left, also came back. He will say, no, I was in the structures, guys. Just like everyone is ambitious. I went for business, but I'm back. Okay? Listen, guys, there's a chance. Okay?
To business who were sympathetic to the ANC. And Patrice is one of them. For me, it's not entirely about you know, what will happen to or the dignity of the ANC. Because if you look at the ANC does not have any moral standing as we speak.
Yes,
so
it's tough.
To say, it will not, it will be a betrayal of some sort. For me, I look at the country more than the ANC. And the question that I ask is, to save our country, because our country has a litany of challenges. So the question that I would ask, or the question that I ask is, what type of leader does South Africa need in order for us to change course? And if we look at the ANC, and if the ANC is obviously going to contest, would that leader be able to save the ANC? And would that leader be able to ensure that the ANC becomes a leader of society again?
Sorry, the last point I wanted to add, in the last elections of 2024, Motsepe, through his companies and I think his trusts, funded the ANC, the EFF. I'm not sure about the DA and the Freedom Front Plus. So again, as an ANC heavyweight, to have someone like that who's just funded some of our oppositions in the last elections, that's us. Sorry. Okay. But I hear the questions you're raising.
So all I'm trying to say is the question that I think many ANC members and leaders are asking themselves, how do we save the ANC? And perhaps Patrice might not be the right candidate.
For you?
For me,
Would you consider him?
Of course.
Okay.
From an economic perspective, we are speaking about thousands of young people who are looking for jobs. And the reality is that politicians, and I come from politics, we do not know how to create jobs.
Do you think Patrice knows how to create jobs?
Well, he is a product of whiteness, of course.
Do you think Cyril Ramaphosa, he came in as a billionaire president, do you think he knows how to create jobs?
A few jobs.
Remember,
remember, there's a vast difference between someone who has created some job and a politician who has never created a particular job. But of course, the ANC has created a developmental state and so forth. But Patrice is not he's not, for me, he's not the ideal candidate. What I would really love to see from the ANC, and I think it might happen, I think you would have the likes of Thabo Mbeki, who's quite old, attempting to intervene. Because
as a leader?
No, to intervene in terms of who takes over. Because now you are stuck with Fikile Mbalula.
You're stuck. You decided to use the word stuck.
Well,
we are presented with, we are being gifted
unfortunately,
with the Fikile Mbalula. We are being blessed.
But
these are the words.
But you can imagine.
I'm stuck.
But you can imagine if...
No, I actually understand her when he says stuck. It means there is no one around. Okay? I think I understand her in that way. That we are stuck with him because it seems and it looks like Mr. Mbalula will be the only person. And it seems like we might not have any choice but to go with Mr. Mbalula. That means we are stuck with him. Unless maybe, I don't know. Unless maybe Mr. Penuel is against it because maybe there are other people. Maybe like your... For me, guys, I am looking at it beyond Mr. Mashatile, right? I don't think that as long as Mr. Mashatile is around, I think he will be the president next time. I don't know whether he will still be there. I don't know whether he will not be removed as a president, as the deputy president. I don't know. Because remember, they are in the GNU and blah, 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 and things are happening. You will never know. Let's just say everything is messed up, okay? And then maybe he's no longer there, blah, 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 blah. And then we will be stuck with Mr. Mbalula, okay? And then Mr. Mukhupa maybe might be somewhere, deputy president, something, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But I understand her when she says we are stuck with Mr. Because guys, I told you before, I am not seeing anybody there. I'm very sorry, but I don't see anyone there in the NC. Like I'm trying, right? And I'm not counting Mr. Mashatile. I'm not counting him. Like after that, it's like, yo, guys, I don't know. That's why I think that the DA, they will use this. They will use actually this to their advantage, They will work very hard to be in a position where they end up having the president. I don't know.
Fikile Mbalula is the best that the ANC can offer, then we are in trouble.
Is he?
Because if the ANC wins and it's able to go into a coalition, you will then have him as a president.
But is he the best that the ANC has to offer right now?
No, of course.
I mean, he's the guy that negotiated, I'd like to think, the GNU with Helen Zille. He was the guy.
No, he was forced to negotiate because people had outvoted the ANC. The ANC
Sure, but it's like Codesa. Right? Not Ramaphosa, but they were forced to negotiate. So
Do you know-
Mbalula comes like a Ramaphosa, or Helen Zille becomes the next Rolf Mayor for a government of national unity.
Unfortunately, the thing about Mbalula, he does not take himself seriously. So he cannot expect society to take him seriously.
But at least we'll have good laughs. The country will get to relax,
Penuel.
jive. He used to be a minister of, Uras Matez was the minister.
Let's just be honest, guys. Do you think Mr. Mbalula takes himself seriously? I don't think so, man. I've always listened to him speak, bro. Especially when he speaks about money. I think money will make him to be something else, man. Like sometimes when you hear him speak and he speaks about money, yeah, we eat them, we eat his money. When he was talking about Patrice Motsepe, yeah, we eat this, and I'm like, and then he will be like, yeah, you must eat the money, you must enjoy a comrade. Like I'm like, but come on, Mr. Maro. I think he's careless. I think he's careless when it comes to talking. I don't know when he becomes, because there are people who might change. Maybe when they become presidents, then they will realize that, hey, this is real now. Because when you become a president, it's real. The next day after you are sworn in, the reality hits home. Boom! You are a president. I think other people, they change their posture in that way. But I don't know about Mr. Mbalula. Mr. Mbalula, guys, I think it's okay when he's an SG. He's shouting, talking against other parties. I think that is okay. President, I don't know, but I don't like judging the book by its cover. But Mr. Mbalula, guy, I don't know, but hey, listen.
So I'm a bunch of losers. I'm actually serious
Tebogo.
because this is an ANC Youth League president. This is a guy who served as in a bunch of ministerial posts. He's currently the SG of the ANC. So I'm not sure.
They would never allow that as the ANC.
Come
Exactly.
on, are you calling to a show?
They would never.
OMG.
Mbalula. You think Fikile
Did I
Mbalula?
not just give you his
How are they
portfolio?
going to stop him?
Did I not just give you his portfolio?
Well,
You would have said exactly what you're saying now if I told you he's running for ANC Youth League president. He might be a minister of the police. What else? He was minister of roads or whatever.
But here's how the ANC just
And now he's
functions.
the SG.
But-
I don't understand what you're
but
saying.
here's
And
what
he
I'm
was
saying.
sent
No.
to negotiate a GNU.
But here's what I'm
And you're
saying.
like, they would never allow. The guy's been given so much leadership.
The ANC now is at a point where they're like, okay, out of everyone in the whole leadership or anyone in the ANC, who can get us votes? Whether it's in the ANC or outside
I don't
of the
think
ANC.
Cyril was the guy that they put forward to get them votes.
Outside of, who was there? Nkosana Dlamini Zuma.
No, it doesn't matter. But I don't think he was the guy to get them votes is my argument.
Who would have been?
No, forget
Because
who
there
would
was
have
two
been.
people.
Yeah.
Forget who would have
And-
been.
and
That's
can
what I'm
I-
saying
and
with
can I-
Mbalula.
and can I just
But
quickly-
it's not so much about. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
Is
Penuel,
he the best?
Penuel,
Because it may
can I-
not be.
Penuel,
To get votes is not.
Yes, and can I just quickly say something? If you're following Patrice, you need to look at the December prayer session where he was able to fill FNB Stadium.
But that's money. He does that
No,
every year.
who does not use money in politics?
No, I understand that.
No, but I'm saying that.
But that is because of the ZCC.
No,
that
it-
is not necessarily a
ZCC.
Ramaphosa.
ZCC.
Let's allow it to maybe sell a point and not counter.
I'm not bringing in a Ramaphosa factor.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the very fact that Patrice Motsepe can mobilize, the ANC at this stage cannot mobilize this number of people who can fill up FNB Stadium. You can say ZCC. Those ZCC churchgoers or church members are voters. Those people from the IPCC church are voters. So churches are highly organized. So you must look at many African leaders, and you must look at the culture. You must look at what they do. They start soccer teams or soccer clubs. So what he's doing, it is not rocket science. Yeah. So it's not rocket science. He's got some of the most organized organs of society behind him.
Sundowns,
Behind him.
and then mobilizing the
Yes.
churches.
The ANC, as we speak, cannot fill the stadium in Kailicha. That's the ANC today. So Patrice Motsepe might be more popular than the ANC, unless.
But now we have to assume that
Yeah.
they're coming to the stadium for Patrice, which
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know
saying.
if
For me,
that's
it was
true.
a
It does not matter. If Patrice has these people in his pocket, that's another story altogether. In fact, to the extent that he can even contest as an independent candidate.
But why couldn't he mobilize these people for the ANC if he's that
But
influential?
if that's true, why couldn't
Yeah.
you mobilize the ZCT people for time
So-
bank?
Why-
that's
why-
another thing as well, where I'm a bit.
Yes,
I hear you, but
I-
I'm like,
I think it's perception, and maybe you believe in the perception, and we don't.
Remember, for now, this is just an analysis.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. Look, it's important. When you do your analysis, to say what are the eventualities, because if your Lekhanyani tells members of the ZCC church to vote for a Patrice Motsepe, what then happens? So you look at how he has been mobilizing. I do not know if he's going to contest, but I do know that the ANC has got senior leaders. I know that the ANC have got people who can actually save the ANC. I do not believe that the ANC should actually go to elections and contest. I do not believe that the ANC should actually go to its national conference in 2027. I think it will weaken the party even further. It is likely to also form or to lead to a splinter party. But as I'm saying, there are good comrades. You've got your Sputler, the minister of
Ramokgopa.
yes, Ramokgopa.
Ngubani kanje igama lakhe?
Khosi Enso.
Enso.
Yes. So you've got
King.
you've got Khosi
the
Enso.
Black King, Khosi
Black?
Enso.
Oh, that's what it
Yes.
means.
Yeah,
Yes.
Khosi Enso.
Enso.
Yeah.
Oh, the Black King.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that's actually a beautiful name.
Yes.
Okay.
So you also have Mdu from KZN, and also the good thing, which comes from the NEC, is that what they've been able to do now, they've been able to deploy senior leaders as well. So the question for me,
What's Mdu's surname? Sorry, I know he normally gets interviewed.
Mdu, I forgot his.
Sorry. No, please continue.
Yes. So the question is the ANC prepared to save itself, or is the ANC prepared to win a narrow margin, then go into a coalition?
Is it Ntuli?
I think it's Ntuli.
He's got a position currently. I think I've seen him on
He's a chief
billboards.
whip. No, man, is it Ntuli? Yeah.
But right now, what I'm asking myself is,
Ntumseni.
we are always having this chat about big business will decide who gets into power. Do you think business, whatever business people are saying, and what the ANC want, are they meeting each other halfway? Because now there's a GNU. Do you think they'll have the same leader that they want to be in power? in
that's
the
what
next
I was
national
asking.
Elections?
Remember, what big business always thinks about is a conducive environment.
Yes.
Are the politicians who are leading, are they thinking of the investment opportunities? Because there is no investor in the world who will go into a country, or for example, the leadership is talking about expropriation. The leadership is talking about nationalization. Of course, as activists, we can push for nationalization, but it's not my money. An investor comes here with their millions and they put
Billions.
money, or billions, yes, of course. They want to know that their money is going to be protected. So as ordinary people and, as revolutionaries, we don't think about these things. Yet we want someone to create jobs. Who's going to create those jobs? So at the moment, big business wants a sensible person. Of course, we are going to look for people who are, as I said, who are revolutionaries. But are we going to get the necessary investment? And remember, the other thing is, business can be coerced. Business can be engaged. The only difference is that if you do not engage business and you allow it to do as it pleases, you'd have circumstances like in South Africa. But the reality is that you want a person who is stable. You do not want a person who will be, talking about nationalization of the mines and so forth. Because as we speak, as a majority, we cannot even buy these mines that are already there. We are waiting for some investor to come and buy our mines, to come and do the studies. Is it geo?
Yeah.
Yes. So, you need to really look. Because, the thing that I have learned, especially since leaving politics, is that you really become realistic because you now start taking helicopter view. Because now when you are in politics, you are driven by ideology. You're not really driven by pragmatism. So this, are some of the things
that pragmatism, when you're in politics and activism, looks like selling out.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. But the reality is that also when you look at a leader who talks revolutionary languages, they are also, at night, they've got businesses, they've got companies, their children, their family members.
We're told that they wear Gucci, apparently.
Oh, yes, they wear Gucci's, and they will tell you, white monopoly capital. I know that I was part of the people who were leading this narrative. But then you realize these leaders, they stay in the same environment, in the same suburbs, with white people. Their children go to the same schools.
Correct.
They go to the same university. They dine together, and they speak the same language. But what they tell ordinary people is something completely different. They divide us. So they work together. Their children work together, but they divide us. You find them in Hyde Park. How many opposition leaders?
Why are we talking about one person here?
Yeah.
But okay.
No. It's not only.
It's all of them.
No, it's all of them.
They all live in Hyde
No,
Park.
they all live in Hyde Park.
They all live in Hyde Park.
Yes. They live.
They all live in Hyde Park.
Oh,
There's only two guys that live in Hyde Park that are popular. Hey, okay, Muna, no, let's carry on.
yes. So all these leaders, they stay next to President Ramaphosa's house. Yet they will, so I'm just saying that we need to be careful as ordinary people, because of course we have to go to public hospitals and fight for that medicine. They go to private healthcare.
One of these so-called leaders would speak about an organized revolution. And to many people, it almost sounds like, look, say the things they want to hear, but just keep them in check. But don't shake too much. Because now and he said this in an interview even, that when the people get really frustrated, who are they going to go for? They're going to go for white people and for people like us who are living better.
So they need me to neutralize them. They need me to speak to them. I remember that interview.
Yes.
I still want to ask, sorry, that's Julius Malema, by the way, so people don't think we're busy sidestepping things.
How far are we?
Oh, you want to go?
No. Let's finish.
Okay. Now I want to go back to the questions. Names. The one interesting thing you've said is you don't think the ANC should go to national conference. What would be the alternative to national conference?
So, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I don't know what do you think about this topic. Remember, we are not in the ANC, some of us, so we can talk about the leadership as we want, Those who are in the ANC, of course, they are always told that you must not talk about the leadership, who's going to lead, what, before the conference, what. We will tell you when to speak about it, okay? Now, one of the things that listen, guys, for me, I've always said that, any person, and I mean any person, right, who can be able to assist when it comes to our country mostly in terms of the economy, then that's okay with me, okay? If they are going to change the situation, if they are going to make things better for the people, I am down, okay? But if you are going to have the same thing, same old, then it becomes a problem for me, because it's like we are working backwards instead of going forward, And when it comes to Mr. Patrice Motsepe, unfortunately, it looks like Patrice Motsepe was a member of the ANC before, and if he becomes the president, I don't think a lot of people will complain, because he was there before. He's like, I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know. So what do you think about that? What do you think about and also, guys, what do you think about Mr. Mokgopa, the Minister of Electricity, and what did you think about? Do you think that if maybe they can push him to being, I don't know, maybe to being a mini deputy president? That will be if maybe Mr. Mashatile is no longer there, maybe he's no longer in politics, or maybe whatever reason it might be. Mr. Ramaphosa is no longer there, obviously. If that happens, of course, all of these are based on if the situation change in the leadership, and then you are left with maybe Mr. Mbalula, abantu abafana nabo Mokgopa. Do you think that Mr. Mokgopa would be a good candidate? Just let's push him maybe and say, for deputy president, okay? I don't know. Who else also? Around Mr. Lamula, Mr. Malala, Mr. Lamula, guys, I don't know. What do you think about him? Because these are the people that are coming into my mind. Mr. Mokhupa, Mbalula, Lamula, who else? Yeah, I think those are the people that are in my mind, especially when you look at the top 6 and stuff like that, you know. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? I want you to tell me in the comment section. Remember, this is just us thinking about the situation, looking at things from the perspective of looking at the situation. We are not analyzing and doing some deep things, and please, okay? We are just talking, having a conversation here. Tell me what do you think in the comment section. And I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. And this is the channel that you all know, Konvo Show, the Konvo Show, Penuel and stuff like that. You can go and watch the whole actually conversation, which was a very interesting one with Miss Phapano Phasha. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, another thing, I will put it in the description, and I might tag them what, and then you will see all of that, guys. Thank you so much. You have a fantastic day. I am out.